4, 3, 2, 1. Oh,
Hello.
it's the bonus content. Look at that. We're in it, Tony.
All right, start the show.
All right.
Thanks for the bonus content.
I've taken everything from you, including bonus content.
What will I do without the bonus content?
What more can I take away from you?
The most bonusy of content.
The most 2, 1.
Nope.
Oh,
Hello.
it's the bonus content. Look at that. We're in it, Tony. Hold on one
All right,
sec.
start the show.
All right. Can you all just talk?
Thanks for the bonus content.
I've taken everything from you, including bonus content.
What will I do without the bonus content?
What more? Okay, I forgot to check to make sure it's getting our audio fine. And it is. All right. Very sexy.
Very bonery.
Very bonery.
Mildly
sexy. I'm
I just want you guys to know this podcast, best podcast of all time. I'm going to let you finish.
I agree. If we had to rank top 10 podcasts ever, it would probably be like the Giant Peace Cast, because it is the number one podcast in the universe.
No.
And then us.
But we're the number one podcast in the multiverse.
Take that, Spider-Verse.
They're not a podcast.
They're not. They should really figure that out.
Well, if we're talking about the multiverse, probably.
Scott, did you see Into the Spider-Verse yet?
No.
Okay.
I understand that I have to, but not yet.
Yeah. I would recommend it. That's all I'll say. All right. Hello, and welcome to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me for these wonderful conversations that we are about to embark on, we have Scott Guthier.
That's all you get.
Okay.
Move on.
Tony Horvath.
Hello.
And Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Skittish.
Welcome to the Irrational Passions podcast. 2018 Game of the Year Deliberations. Day 1. We're doing things a little bit differently this year. If you've not been listening to Irrational Passions podcast, it's either because you are missing out on, according to Tony Horvath, the number one podcast in the multiverse, or 2, because it hasn't been posted to iTunes regularly. Those are the only 2 reasons, in my opinion. It's been a weird year for us. I think it's safe to say. So I think it's also safe to say that we should do Game of the Year a little bit differently, which is to say less of it, because it's been a weird year. The Depressed Boys year is officially what I'm naming 2018 now that it's behind us. Goodbye. I barely knew ye, and I don't miss ye at all. So we're going to do a little bit more condensed of our Game of the Year deliberations, much to Nobishin's chagrin. I love these. I love these silly categories, Nobishin. We just don't have to do all of them this year. So
you say like I wasn't the one who suggested it.
I know. But it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, sure.
But so it's the 4 of us, just like it has been for the past 3 years, I think. 2015 was the first time we did just the 4 of us, right? And we're still going to do deliberations. There's still going to be spoilers. There's still going to be kind of the overhead. But we're going to condense our top 10 personal, top 10 lists, or in Scott's case, top 5. And in Tony's case, top 8?
I don't know how many are on there.
Okay, we'll count them later. And we will just go through those games for day 1 of our 5-day extravaganza. We're not sure if it's going to be 5 days right now. We're going to see how long it takes us to get through these. But I will say this. If you love Game of the Year deliberations and Giant Bomb and OK Beast did not already satisfy your needs for them, there will be, for the first time ever, an IrrationalPassions.com editorial Game of the Year deliberations series of podcasts. So that is 8 categories across 4 days. Those will be releasing probably alongside this as well. So you're getting essentially endless podcasts. I haven't not clocked all of it because I'm still editing it, but I think the editorial stuff is at least 12 hours. Roughly, because each day was a minimum of about 3 hours. And we had some good conversations over there. So that is myself as editor-in-chief, as well as Logan Wilkinson, George Cruz, Mike Burgess, Scott White, and Quentin Hoffman. Jarrett Green opted out.
Smart man.
Which is the most Jarrett Green thing you can do. So this is going to be a little bit more loosey-goosey, a little bit more fun, a little less serious. And today, I think it's still safe to say there could be some spoilers depending on what we have to talk about. But we're just going to go through roundtable each of our 4 personal favorite games of 2018. And let's get started. Who wants to go first? Wow, not all at once.
I'll do it. I got the shortest list.
I am very curious about your list, Scott. All right. So you said 5 games.
It has grown to 7 games.
Okay.
But 2 of them did not make it.
2 of them didn't make the cut.
Okay, first up.
Okay.
Ni no Kuni 2 did not make the cut.
Damn, dude. Dunked on that game so hard you dunked it right off your list.
Yep.
I think
here's the biggest dunk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite is also on this honorable mentions above Ni no Kuni 2.
Yeah, fair.
Honorary number 6 and number 7, Ni no Kuni and Fortnite, but let me specify, Fortnite is above Ni no Kuni.
Jackpot's Party Pack is at number 5, and I've played like 10 minutes of it at Extra Life.
But those games are always fun.
They are.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, into the real list. Number 4.
At number 4, Super Smash Ultimate.
Hell yeah, dude. How are you? We have not talked in a while.
No, this comes in way above Jackbox Party Pack because I'm kind of lower on those games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's generally the people you play with that make those games funny, and the games themselves are like, eh.
Yeah.
You can easily get into a game with quote unquote the wrong crowd and just not have any fun because they're not funny.
Yes, agreed.
So yeah. Where I'm at on this one, it's a fun Smash game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that this one has going for it is, bar a few characters, both on the top and the low end,
mm-hmm.
nearly everybody's pretty much balanced out.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a character counter thing going on in this game as well.
Yeah.
But it's due to being, I guess, more personalized from character to character, you don't run into it all that often.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing randoms, like I don't just get a character that I can't do anything with.
Yeah.
Which for me, when I'm playing with people who are just don't really play the game and are there for like an 8-way smash, that's kind of no fun. But in terms of playing online, it means I can hit random and then not be completely shut out.
Yeah, have a viable match.
Even in a 1-on-1.
Yeah. Have you played a lot online?
A good chunk with the Discord guys, and I'd say a good decent chunk with just what is it?
Randos.
Public arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people try too hard and
yeah,
on the global Smash ranking, and what kind of kills competitive in this stage is dodging is a bad idea. If you're not looking to leave, dodging is a bad idea. There's too many attacks that frame all the way through your dodge.
Yeah, we had a good conversation about kind of where you were at after you'd started playing it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's with that, when you're running against a couple of characters, is kind of where the counters come in. Does your character have a way to get in around the poke they have if your character does not have anything to poke back with?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're playing Ganondorf against the Simon, good luck.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of poke in there.
But take any of the fast characters or any of the reflect characters, Simon can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Man, I have not
And it's because because there's nowhere for Simon to move against these characters, and because this kid is so limited, that's why he can't do anything. If he could move, he could be a very powerful character all around. But it's if your character, he's basically only good against people who don't have poke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good observation. Are you still having fun with it?
Yeah, I mean, like the new thing instead of dodging is you run. It's I don't know. It doesn't feel as satisfying to play, to say the least, as I'd say N64 mainly. But I'd say it's still it's on par with 4, but in some ways, them being I'd say this is as balanced as it can get while it still has the movement problem.
Okay. And 74 characters.
In a way, this is leagues better than 3 and 4, but at the same time, it's disappointing to know that this is as far as it can go with how they change things.
Okay. It's an interesting takeaway.
So that's why it's below the rest of the 3 games, really. Otherwise, it would kind of probably get thrown up to number 2.
Okay.
Or even, I guess, if movement was fixed, it would be number 1.
Okay. Harsh critics,
All
Scott
right.
Guthier.
In number 3.
Number 3.
Rosetail.
Still not the name of the game.
I even have the correct name in front of me.
Blossom Tales?
Blossom
Yes.
Tales?
I have it written out in front of me.
And you still call it
You
Rose.
said, I'm saying it wrong, but that's my prerogative.
This is this is the name of this game now.
No, it's not. I'm going to change it later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really liked playing this game.
Really?
I didn't end up getting all the way to the final boss yet.
Okay.
But that's mostly because I've been dicking around in other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of blazing through the game like I generally would, I've taken time off to go and find other secrets because I enjoy playing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, with that said, I'd say because it lasted a lot longer than I expect Smash to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I don't expect to be playing Smash on the regular for about a month from now.
Okay.
And because this one lasted just that much longer, that's why I put this one above it.
Okay. That's fair. It's always interesting hearing other people's
right.
kind of justifications for their ranking because it's always different than yours.
Right.
Cool.
And then, because I'd say I like them about equally.
Okay. Yeah,
if
that's
that makes
fair.
sense.
It does.
And then there's essentially 2 games left. For
Yeah.
Spot 1 and 2.
I know what one of them is.
Number 2.
Is number 2 Monster Hunter World?
I didn't play that game.
That's right, you didn't.
There's 2 games left.
I'm trying to figure out because I know what number 1 is.
Obviously.
But fuck, what's another game that you played that came out this year, Scott?
You see, this was a tricky one because this is one that wasn't on the Wikipedia game of the games that came out this year list.
Okay.
Wizard of Legend.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot
this game,
about this game entirely.
Came straight out of left field,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked it a whole lot.
Yeah.
And the next game on the list,
the end. Wizard of Legend. Cool game. Bye.
The next game on the list, I think does roguelikes a bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game was just very satisfying to play as an action roguelike.
Yes. It was really cool hearing you talk about it too.
Right. Where it kind of falls short is kind of the place where roguelikes have been excelling in for a while now, ever since Binding of Isaac, and that is the narrative around why you're doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this basically has none.
Yes.
You look at it, and you have a reason for being there. You have a reason for going where you went. You have no idea. You have no idea how you got there. It never really explained. The explanation is magic.
Yeah. What else do you need, Scott?
And then when it ends, it is fantastic. You're the Wizard of Legend.
You did it.
Go home now.
Congratulations. This means nothing.
No, but really, you wake up at a museum. You go to a museum. You get thrown into the wizard trials, and when you beat them, you go back to the museum as the person, and then you walk out.
Huh.
There's nothing else to it.
There's your spoilers for this. I know everyone out there cares so deeply about Wizards of Legend spoilers.
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
Yeah. That's
So
fair, though.
it kind of dampens play. Like the only thing that holds this game up is its gameplay,
Mhm.
and it's very similar for Into the Breach, but I like the way this game plays a lot better.
Mhm.
And even then, I'd say the story behind this one's more interesting,
Yeah.
as shallow as it is. Which, by the way, it's hey, these creatures called Vec have cornered humanity to the last few headquarters on Earth. You drive giant mechs.
We've now transitioned into your number one game, Into the
Yes.
Breach. Also, just
Yes.
to clarify, as host, I want to clarify for listeners at home. Go on, Scott.
I was gonna announce it later, but
I got
I
you.
guess I really should have done it first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's humanity's kind of been cornered to 4 islands because the Vec have taken over the planet. You drive 4 mechs as humanity's last hope. Good luck.
The end.
And it's the end is you drive them out
Or die trying.
or die trying.
Yeah. It is very
But
much a
really,
high stakes game.
Before you die, you travel back in time to bring your captain to bring the lessons of the past.
It's such a good idea. It's still one of my favorite mechanics of a game this year is like sending a soldier back through time to be a soldier for your team again.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cool idea.
And then that kind of also plays out in the mechanics a little bit. It's ever so slightly better than, hey, you went to a wizarding museum, got ported into the trials, you do the trials, and then you leave.
Yes. Hey, the world's ending. You fight aliens, and then you leave. And then they leave.
No, then you get to live there.
Then you get to live there.
That's like the worst punishment. This shitty world that you just saved. Nah, I live here now.
It's covered in alien goop. Yeah, hearing your take on Into the Breach, obviously you're the reason why I, like, above all, that I went and played it. But yeah, like, kind of like your breakdown of like the tactical aspect of it and the grid system and all that, like, and all the different modifiers for missions and whatnot.
Right. And that's another key difference between the 2 games. It's as much of a difference as the spells making Wizard of Legend. They generally follow with all the spells they have, like one of 5 types, really, and that's a melee wide attack, a long attack, a ranged attack, and a control effect.
Mm-hmm.
A control effect and a buff.
Yeah, but some of those control
it's-
effects and buffs are really cool.
Right, they do different things, but at the end of the day, that is what you have, and it between spells, the differences are small except for the chaos spells,
Mm-hmm.
like very small. So it's when you go through Into the Breach, it's every team you pick. Okay, your play style is now different, or you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And some of like the different, like the teams are built to like complement each other, like the different mechs in it. And some of the different configurations, like you said, like the one where you were trying to just do all smoke bombs, like you could do cool shit in that game that you wouldn't think works, but once you really apply yourself to it, works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Breach is really fucking cool. I would buy it again on PC just to support them. Because those guys are awesome. And it's very much like a smart follow-up to something like FTL. It's cool to see them do something similar but different enough that it's still really exciting.
Yep.
And whatever they make next, I'm there for it day one. That's your list, Scott.
That's my list.
Do you have a most anticipated video game of 2019?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I like how you said that so begrudgingly.
That's the only. To be honest, that's the only game that's on my radar for this year.
You gotta
everything else I've even really looked into.
You gotta put Sekiro on your radar. It's a new From Software game. Come on.
Yeah, that comes out this year.
That's March, baby.
Okay,
we're in it. Cool. It's a good list.
PlayStation exclusive.
PS4, Xbox One, and PC, I think as well. Actually,
PC, great. I'm in.
I think it's out there for you guys. I'll double check. I'll fact check that. Tony, what about your games?
I played some video games.
How many games do you have on your list? Have you figured it out?
Yes, I played some video games. All right.
You played some games.
I have a top 5 list and 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, same deal as Scott.
Yeah. So my first honorable mention, League of Legends, because I played that instead of pretty much every other game this year.
It's true. I think that's fair. How do you feel about League of Legends right now in this moment?
It's okay.
I love that.
It was better earlier in the year.
It was better at some point. I can happily say, Tony, that League of Legends is coming to Microsoft Windows.
Oh, thank God.
I know. Not League of Legends.
I'll finally be able to install something other than Linux.
Sekiro is what I meant to say, but I was thinking too hard about.
I was say, what is that?
I was thinking too hard about League. I played League of Legends this year. I think I would not have even gone so far as to commit to that bit if you had not so impassionately talked about League of Legends so much this year, Tony.
I played a lot of League of Legends, man.
You did. And I don't know, you brought a lot of really great conversations about League of Legends to the show. So like I don't want to
I think that League of Legends had a pretty good year this year. So
yeah. And talking about it with you, it brought back we brought back kind of like the more fun things about that game versus kind of like the things that drove me away in the first place, which like in the thick of it in the like 2013, 2014 era of IP was like the Dota versus League of Legends conversations and like the toxic community and whatnot, obviously.
Yeah, interestingly enough, due to the way League and Dota work now, most of the toxic community is actually no, it's mostly just in Dota now.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of nice.
It's hilarious because they moved there because they got kicked out of the league.
Yeah,
and they got tired of making new accounts.
Hopefully, they'll get kicked out of.
You'll still find a bunch of toxic players below level 30.
Yeah.
But once you hit kind of like a certain threshold, I haven't had one in the longest time. I've had somebody feeding, but
sorry, Scott, that was me. It wasn't on purpose. What's your other honorable mention, Tony?
So my other honorable mention is Sea of Thieves.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't play it, but I really want to. And I've been watching one of the top streamers on Twitch, Summit, play that game like every day for the past like 2 weeks.
Get on PC, I'll play with you.
And it looks like so much fun. Like it looks like the kind of game that like the group of like 4 to 6 of us in the Discord that we're in all the time could get and just fuck around with. And it's so like pick up and play and then put down and forget about it that I think it would work really well with our group, and it just looks like fun.
Yeah.
I think the PvE content and stuff is a bit lacking, but you can make your own content, and that's basically what I've been watching. This one guy who's like really popular streaming it do. Like he sneaks on other people's ships and like hides, waits for them to like finish their mission, and then will like steal all their shit. It's awesome. Fucking hilarious.
The one time I played that game, like, and actually like sat down and had a couple hour sessions with friend of the show, Nato Johnson. Like we went, looted a bunch of stuff, then somebody sank our ship, stole our loot, and we spent literally an hour and a half chasing them around the ocean.
Hell yeah.
And it was awesome. Like it sucked because we ended up losing all of our stuff, but we did destroy their ship. And
yeah, I think like there's a lot of cool stuff that can be made out of what's there, and it seems like the devs are in a spot where they are still adding stuff and making it a better game. Yeah. So while it may have seemed sort of incomplete on release, I think that if you kind of embrace what's there for what is there, and you come into it with the right mindset, then it would be really cool. Plus, like playing Atlas which is a game that came out in early access a couple weeks ago. Pirate game, survival game.
Yes.
It kind of tries to take Sea of Thieves and make it into more of a survival game, and therefore add more content. But I think that it does it very poorly. And Sea of Thieves seems to be like the essence of what that game tries to do, distilled into just what's fun.
Yes, it is a jolly as hell game.
So yeah, I'll probably pick it up. I don't know, like next week or something.
Right.
Maybe convince Scott to do it. If he can play with Alex, Scott will probably get it.
You can. I can play online with you guys too for my Xbox.
Yeah, I know that it's crossplay.
You might have to get into a game of Stellaris first, though.
It's true. I have that. I have it downloaded and installed. I gotta commit to that.
But yeah, so I do definitely want to do that. That looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
Cool.
That's my other honorable mention. Number 5 on my list, Modern Warfare, Black Ops 4.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The
dark horse.
Yeah, I don't care at all about Call of Duty. I still don't.
We know.
It came out, and they're like a new group of like friends came into the Discord and started spending a bunch more time in there, and they're all like, "Hey, let's all get Black Ops and play, multiplayer and the Blackout mode, which is a battle royale mode and stuff." And I was like, "No," and they said, "Bro, you got to get it. It's fun." And I was like, "Okay." So I bought it, and yeah, we ended up playing a ton of it. A bunch of the zombies, bunch of the multiplayer. We don't play the multiplayer of the zombies anymore because we already finished the zombies. We did the Easter egg, which is like on the first of 3 maps, which is like do a bunch of ridiculous shit and then fight a giant boss at the end and kind of beat the game mode. We did that for the first map, and then we kind of just hop on there every once in a while and play Blackout, which is a good time. It's kind of what like any battle royale thing. You pick it up, play a couple rounds, and then you're good. They play way more than I do. A lot of the time they'll be like, "We're playing Blackout," and I'll be like, "All right, see ya." But I'll jump in there if I'm bored, and it's a good battle royale game. I think it is the best battle royale that has come out at least recently. I think that Fortnite is good for a different reason, but and then PUBG is pretty good. But I think that Blackout kind of does that game mode very well.
Yeah.
But then there's all that other like ridiculous, like them trying to have the Fortnite model of buying like tiers and getting cosmetics and stuff for it, which I haven't bought into at all. I don't really even know how the system works because I don't care. I'll get on there and we'll shoot a little bit, and then I'll get sniped by someone who's significantly better at PC shooters than me. Then I'll be like, all right, time to go back to something else.
And you don't have to care, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think Blackout is really cool. I was optimistic about that mode since they announced it, and it's cool to see they pulled through. I'm gonna be honest, Option. I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode.
They have one?
Apparently.
You see, here's the thing. It's a lot of people don't play that game.
Yeah. I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Battlefield 5 now that I think about it. I'm sitting here thinking like, have I heard anyone talk about that game this year? I haven't. Huh. What a weird year. The heel turn. Call of Duty is still king.
It's coming. Their battle royale. It's just gonna come later.
It's not yet. Okay.
That's the whole. If you're with Battlefield 5, that's the whole thing with Battlefield 5 right now. It's just a lot of like even at release is like they're just having like staggered releases on their modes. So like like there was like certain like I think Conquest mode in Battlefield 5 was like not on day one. It was like a few weeks later. It's weird. They're doing their games to service really weird. So
they're fucking up is what they're doing, Navashin. All right, that's good, Tony. I'm glad. Again, I was so surprised when you were playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. I think you can't really put past it that they've got good zombie.
Yeah,
they're just fun. For a while until you've kind of exhausted what's there and learned the map and stuff, and then it's a little bit less fun. But yeah, I did that, and then there was a time where I was like AFK grinding this exploit to get Prestige 10 in Zombies, where you could just set yourself up with infinite like super and stand on a thing in the geometry that the zombies can hit you with, and your super does area of effect damage that instantly kills any zombie that comes up to you. So you just leave it there overnight for like 10 hours, and it will get you all the way to like round 500, and you get hella experience. I don't know if they patched that yet, but you could just grind. You could grind a Paragon level like every 10 hours. So every night, overnight, you could grind a Paragon level and get to Master Paragon to like fucking week.
Damn.
So I was doing that for a while. But then I was like, all right.
That's how they did it.
Yeah, but then I was like, I don't care anymore. But yeah, I don't know, like learning how to do that.
Keep going.
Learning how to do that even was kind of interesting and fun. I don't know, like learning how to do those things is like do things that are outside of what the game lets you do. Just like if you were to learn how to do skips in Dark Souls, is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Number 4, Tony.
Okay, Scott didn't have anything.
Oh, it's Will started getting into Black Ops 4, and of course, what he does in those games is he grinds out dark matter.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yes, and like he does it before he hits Prestige 2.
Fuck that.
So
dark matter is a camo for weapons that you get when you complete all headshots on all weapons.
Yeah, so he started
100 headshots on every weapon.
And within like 5 games, he was placed into a thing with people who were max prestige.
Fuck that.
And then, of course, he completed the Titan within like 3 days.
It depends.
4 hours or something
that,
like that.
The prestige levels are separate for each of the 3 games. So you would only get Master Prestige in Zombies doing that method that I said.
Got it.
Oh, okay. Never mind. He doesn't play that, so the SP got matched with full master.
Just like competitive multiplayer.
Yeah. But then again, I am actual garbage at that game, and I got to level 50, almost to first prestige in like a week. So anybody can get it if you play a lot.
Anyone can do it if you dream hard and live big.
Yeah. Well, I think that in the multiplayer specifically, the heist mode was really, really good. It's kind of like took a play out of fuck you. Why can't I not think of the stupid shooter game on Steam that everybody plays?
Fortnite?
No, that's not on Steam.
Counter-Strike?
Yes, Counter-Strike. It's exactly like Counter-Strike. where you things you do give you money and then you spend the money at the beginning of the round to buy guns and upgrades and stuff. And we had most fun, I think, with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, number 4 is Into the Breach.
Hell yeah, dude.
I have played exactly 1 run of this game and it's already better than Black.
Take that call,
so I put it at number 4 just as a precaution.
I'm glad you played it, dude.
But yeah, I beat the first 2 islands my first time through. I don't know if I did well beating the first 2 islands, but
no.
Yeah, no.
like listen, by the end of it, you were on point.
Yeah.
By the end of the first island, you were on point.
Okay.
But like you had 1 grid power at the end of that first island.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't I was telling Scott, I was like, hey, I lost a bunch of grid power in my first mission because I didn't know that it didn't come back after the first mission was. So I just kind of like sacrificed some buildings because I was like, yeah, I mean, they're going to come back. I can afford to lose this reason.
He also missed half the challenges on the first island.
You're just learning the mechanics at that point.
Second island, I got everything.
Like he did. As for his first run, he did exceptionally well. As for a good run overall, but
I gotta say that I owe my success on that run solely to the fucking shield tank, dude.
Hell yes, dude.
Dude, I got that upgrade. And it was like I was like, Scott, what do I spend my reputation on? Scott was like, I don't know. It's always different. And I was like, well, there's the shield tank thing that's on sale. I've never even heard of a shield tank, and I was like, all right, this game is good.
So good, dude. Fuck yes. Shield tank is so clutch.
Yeah, they're so strong, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, as long as the shield tank's there, I can just fucking take hits. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that game, once I figured out like how to make things move around and stuff, it looks like it'd be a really fucking great time. And like I said, even one run in, I'm having a great time with it. So
I'm excited for you to play more.
Yeah.
You'd play like 6 hours of it at Extra Life. Beating it twice.
Yeah. And it's just a game that keeps on giving. It's just fun to play. All right. Number 3.
Slay the Spire.
Oh, yeah, this game.
Yeah, deck building roguelike game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a hell of a lot of fun. It's run based. You go through, pick up cards, and make a deck, and then use whatever to get your way through. I've beaten it a couple times. And the times when you actually get some when you get some cool shit and actually your deck starts to come together and do crazy things, that game is just a joy to play. And getting through and you find these really hard enemies near the end, but your deck is so powerful you just blow them up and you're like, well,
all right.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of depth to it. Even with there are 3 different characters and each one has different cards and different ways of. The one that I like, which is the experiment, he casts magic based on these little spheres that he channels, and they happen at the end of each turn after you've channeled the sphere. So you can go armor builds where you make a bunch of frost spheres at the end of your turn. It's hey, each one of these thing that you channel, and you can have up to 6 of them, are going to give you 2 to 4 armor or whatever, and you could buff how much each one gives you. So you get to the point where at the end of each turn you're gaining 30 armor, and what's anything going to do to you? It's cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you put together to kind of get through all of those challenges. Slay the Spire is cool. They also have dailies. I'm a big fan of daily challenge mechanics.
I am too, buddy.
Hell yeah, dude. Where you just get to pick it up and be all right, give me the same thing as everyone else, and I'm going to do better than anyone else did. This sounds all right.
Yeah.
All right. Before you go on to number 2, quick aside of something stupid.
Here we go.
Huh?
Let me put on my seatbelt.
I just realized that Pikmin 1's a roguelike.
It is a roguelike.
Continue.
It is a 30-day roguelike. Anyway.
Does Pikmin 1 have daily challenges?
Kind of.
No, it's not online.
You create your own daily challenges in Pikmin.
But I mean, can I log into Pikmin 1 and do the daily challenge?
No,
but I could make a chart for you if you want some dailies. I could make some up for you.
You don't have to play Pikmin. No,
dude, it's good.
Scott, let's make a chart of Pikmin daily challenges, one for each day of the year. All right, Tony, number 2.
Number 2, Monster Hunter World.
Now I don't know what's above this, and I'm very confused.
Yeah, I know.
Earlier.
I did say it earlier, which is why I can't do that bet with you anymore, because you'll be able to guess it. Sorry, Nabashan already lost the bet, so we're.
I wasn't even trying to.
I know.
I said Bless Online.
I know, dude. I know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I must have missed it then.
And then I gave him the other shitbag answer, Atlas. Not out yet, doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, Monster Hunter World, man. That game's great.
That game is great.
That game was fun. I played a hell of a lot of it on PS4 when it came out. Bought it again on PC, played it again. Grinded every single weapon out of that game. Got Hunter rank 90-something. Fucking killed a bunch of monsters. Murdered a fucking unicorn thing.
Lightning
on
unicorn.
Stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Killing that Tempered Kirans on stream was really fun.
Would you say this is your favorite Monster Hunter game?
It's the most accessible Monster Hunter game, and I think I derive a lot of the enjoyment out of Monster Hunter playing the co-op modes. Mm-hmm. So it just by virtue of having the most exposure to that, I would say it's the one that I've enjoyed the most.
Okay.
Well, I don't mind, just running through and soloing a bunch of. I think it's more fun to do the 4-player hunts and all that. So being able to do that with basically everybody in this game has made it, kind of stand out amongst the other Monster Hunters.
Yeah, I played this game with you a little bit too.
Yeah, and I hope that the next one that they do is also this popular, so that I can continue having that experience with Monster Hunter. And it was cool kind of going into it with prior knowledge, with people who wanted access to that prior knowledge in my groups and stuff, so I could be able to hey,
you be the Sherpa.
Do exactly, which is something that I do in a lot of games.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun, that game, and being able to, like I said, play with a bunch of different people, do the Monster Hunter stuff. It didn't really bother me too much about the the issues that it has with its multiplayer. I think that once you learn how to do it, it's not a big deal at all. Mm-hmm. It's kind of annoying the first time you go through the story and if you're trying to co-op through it. But I think that largely my experience and the experience of the people around me was just that, everybody kind of did their first playthrough by themselves, and then if they needed help, it was probably after they've already come up against a monster that they couldn't beat, and at that point they would have someone come and do it with them. I there is an issue with it where you can't just say you and a significant other or something, or a good friend wanted to play through the whole game together. There'd be a huge amount of barriers to entry of doing that, because not only you'd both have to get to it solo, and then one would have to like leave the mission and join your other mission, so you could do each thing together, and you have to do that for every single mission in order to make it work that way. And it should just be that if you wanted to play with someone, you could do it. I think that forcing someone to wait for the cutscene before they could join a multiplayer session was kind of silly.
Yeah.
But other than that issue, I don't know, the multiplayer worked and stuff like, we were able to get a bunch of our friends who played together into a club. And then you just join the club session when you start the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's always in the same lobby. So, and doing whatever they want. You do the same missions if you want, or do whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made a really cool social kind of like forum for all of us, where everyone could be in there. No one has to do anything with each other, but say two people are in there and you just like want to hop onto someone else's mission, just be like, hey, you want to do this? The guy's like, yeah. Then you go and you do the thing. So yeah, that's cool. The character customization was really good in this Monster Hunter, which was kind of weird but awesome. And the armor looks rad. You're able to make your character really look cool. And if you wanted to be super heavy armored, there was that for you. If you wanted to basically run around in underwear, that was technically also available, even more so on the male models, which I thought was funny, than on the female model. That Kieran outfit on the male, oh man, it's hot.
It's very hot.
Is it swim trunks?
Let me see if I can find a picture for you, Scott. But yeah, the male Kieran armor is really.
It's a game.
Speedo?
Is it a Speedo? It's also a game so good you played it twice this year.
Yeah.
Once on PS4, once on PC. So, yeah, Monster Hunter World's cool. I had a good time with it. I wish we had played more, but you're just too good for me, Tony.
There you go, Scott. That's the male Kieran armor as provided by Google.
He's wearing too much.
What's your number one, Tony?
So my number one is Dead Cells.
Really?
Yeah. This game has kind of taken me by storm over the past week or so.
Wow, I'm very surprised.
It's so good, man. It's just like the perfect, Metroid roguelike game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too intrusive with the Metroidvania aspects of it. Where you kind of go and get a power-up, which then allows you to do different things in the levels you've been going through previously. And it kind of blends those into the randomness of those levels pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a pretty good deal of success with it, and kind of come to a bunch of weapon combinations that I really like. And I'm able to get much farther doing those, but there isn't a single weapon in there that I can completely dismiss as something that I don't enjoy playing with so far. And I think that's really cool. That even with getting the upgrades that just give you a random choice at the beginning of weapon, shield, or ranged weapon, and then picking two of those and going, already opens up a ton of avenues to different cool things you can do. And it kind of makes every run feel even more unique. Where one run I might have like a bow that freezes an enemy, and then like something that I can throw that does damage to a frozen enemy, or some other kind of crazy thing like that, and then have that even be augmented further by what I find in the levels. And then as going forward, you have to fight these ridiculously difficult bosses. It's just a good time. It has the right amount of speed if you want to do it, with rooms that lock after you've been going for a certain amount of time. So if you don't get there fast enough, you don't get to get in there. If you want to go for those, you kind of have to hurry through the levels and play efficiently. Or if you just want a full clear and get to every floor on the entire room before you move on to the next one, then you can do that too. And even both of those methods of playing seem equally rewarding. And you can kind of spec yourself to which kind of, if you want to play really fast, or if you want to be more safe, if you want to be able to, get some of your health back for everything that you kill, to kind of encourage yourself to clear out every floor in the safe way. All of that stuff is available, and nothing seems like it is much more is much more powerful than something else, to the point where it makes something not ideal, like you're not appealing to take. And it's cool. There's just a lot of cool stuff. I'm excited to see what more is there. I'm sure there will be more because it's like it's a roguelike. They're going to throw out more power creep, which is what roguelikes do, as you collect more cells. So yeah, I've been having a great time with it, and I think that the humor of the game kind of like puts in there in a baseline of like how the character interacts with his world and things that he sees in it is hilarious. Like it just has me smiling all the time whenever the main character does something.
Yeah, it's a really funny game.
And when I was first playing through it and saw the character interacting the way that he does with his environment, I was like, man, this guy is basically exactly Scott.
So true.
He reacts to shit exactly like Scott would, and it's so fun.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's weird. I played a good chunk of Dead Cells this year, and it absolutely did not click with me at all. I was pretty bummed out about it, but like Jared Green loves Dead Cells.
The guy's got the right idea.
So yeah, it was definitely one that I recommended to Scott. I wasn't sure kind of where you would land on it, Tony, but I'm really glad you like it. So much so that you would name it your game of the year.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you most looking forward to in 2019, Tony?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Just so it can be over.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's gonna last for like 5 months.
I know.
And then it's gonna be like another 25-year wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, right?
It's fine. We got here. I don't need another one.
We might die first. So that might be a problem.
It was my concern with Kingdom Hearts 3, but luckily it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't want to jinx myself.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But let's see. Do you have an actual most anticipated? There's a Monster Hunter World expansion coming out this year, a big one. So
yeah, that should be cool. I
don't
know if I have like a one like most anticipated one. Obviously, I'm excited for anything FromSoft does.
Yes.
So
Sekiro.
That's certainly on my radar.
Yep.
But hey, we'll have to see what happens this year. I don't have super high expectations following 2018, so.
Okay, that's fair. Nabashin, let's do it, man. Hit me with your honorable mentions.
All right, I got a few of them. I'll probably mention like a couple of them. Not all of them, but like the ones that really stood out for me this year was Hollow Knight. A game I really enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you for this. For me and you.
I really enjoyed that game, and I probably would even put it on my list if I played more of it. But like I fell off of it, like after like that solid month of me playing it. But like I don't know, it was just very engrossing. It's like there's a cool world, cool atmosphere, good gameplay. Like I said, as soon as I started like jumping on walls, I was like, "Oh, this is Mega Man X." Like I love this. So but yeah, Hollow Knight that was a great game. Also want to give a shout out to Final Fantasy VII.
Yes,
that was a tremendously good time. Even though I played it in not the best way. I still kind of regret me playing this way, but like, and at the same time too, it's like the only way I would have got myself to play in anyway in the first place. So like, I'm glad I had my experience with it.
Me too.
Yeah, and like hearing Justin going through it right now, it's like pretty good too, because like he'll like tweet me every once in a while about it. So
yeah, we've been playing Bloodborne again, and he's been telling me regaling me with his stories. So yeah, honestly that Final Fantasy VII show that we did is one of my favorite shows I've done this year. It's so much fun. So it was so cool hearing like a fresh positive perspective on that game.
Minute. That's another great game that I played this year. Something I didn't really talk about. There's been a lot of games I played this year that I didn't really talk about. Like Sushi Striker, I got this year. I never even mentioned it once on the show. But like that's not on my list. But Minute is like a really great game. It's not, there's nothing much to it, and like it's so simple and so simplistic and like it's accessible that like it's just a fun game. It's just really just a video game as a video game that I just really enjoyed. But yeah, Minute, you should check out Minute. It's a great game. It's super cheap. It's fun.
I definitely want to check that one out. it seems like something I would really dig.
Mm-hmm. And the last of my honorable mentions that like kind of just got out of my top 10 because I just beat like recently is The Missing, JJ McAfield and the Island of Memories. Like like it's a sweary game, so like you expect the bizarre stuff from it, but also because it's a sweary game, you also like get this good story out of it at the same time, and like the story that they tell in that, like and the way they tell it, it's really it's some good shit in that. Like honestly, as far as like the pain that you're going through and like suffering through it just to like get to the end and like where that resolves at the end. Obviously I don't want to spoil that game at all, but like
I still know nothing about it, which has me very excited.
Yeah, I think like just play through it, it'd be great. Like the voice acting isn't all that great, and like there's some frame rate problems, screen tearing and stuff like that, but like
well, you know I love bad voice acting, so
but yeah, like story wise, that game is like in a league of its own. Like it's probably one of the best written stories I've played this year, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. I highly recommend that game for anyone who's just like wants to try something new and like wants to hear something like personal about like in a way because like unfortunately Gone Home never clicked for me, but like it's kind of my Gone Home. Like it's one of those really good games.
All of it, I'll say the one bad thing about holding off on playing The Missing is all of its kind of comparisons. I think definitely, and all of the people that have resonated with it definitely tell me kind of the subject matter of some of its narrative that you can kind of glean, which I think was like kind of the only thing I really knew about it going into it. But yeah, I'm really excited to play it. I've owned it. I bought it day one because I want to support my boy, but I've just not played it yet.
Yeah.
But I will.
Yeah, I would say even knowing about it is like the journey through it makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take the impact out of it at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll just get on to my list now.
All right, number 10.
Number 10.
This is a real list. I'm just kidding, guys.
Number 10. My number 10 is Donut County, another game that I played this year that I didn't talk about at all. But I just played it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played it recently, like maybe like a week or two ago. But like, it's just a fun, simple game. It's really, really fun. Like if you think of like something like Katamari, like how simple that game is, where you just roll up everybody and like just like kind of zen out doing that. Like Donut County is basically that, just like except you're just a hole in the ground and you're just like making things fall into a hole. Even has this like weird story because like you play as this raccoon named BK, and he's kind of just a douchebag, but like he's a likable douchebag. Because like he's just trying to like just get his rank up so he can like get himself like a drone. So like and like to do that, like people are ordering donuts. So like for some reason when people order donuts, like he just sends like a big just hole. It's like I don't know, like I never really made a connection with that, but like I guess because the hole is like what brings up his rank, so like he'll just put everybody inside the hole, and like that's connecting him ordering donuts or whatever. But like yeah, it's just a funny game. I really enjoy. Good soundtrack as well.
Chill too.
Yeah, it's just a chill ass game. Like it's really fun. You can play almost everywhere. You can play on your phone, play on PS4, which I did. Yeah, it's fun. It's short too, like maybe like an hour or two. But yeah, I enjoyed the experience a lot. It was really good.
Shout out to the Trashopedia.
Mm-hmm.
Which came up in our editorial game of the year deliberations. Number 9.
My number 9 is God of War.
It's higher than I expected, Navashin. Near the bottom of the list.
It's weird, because like it's more of like because I haven't played it in so long. And obviously it didn't necessarily resonate with me at the time as well. But like I guess it's more just like giving congrats into like a good playing video game where like it's more of like an appreciation type of thing. I guess you could say. I appreciate the game for what it does. I appreciate the game um for changing like a well-known franchise where it's just like even though it still is like a manly man game, I guess you could say, in more ways than one. Like it evolves still a little bit, like more, and I say it evolved as far as like Kratos just being just like a person, like even though I do like those old God of War games, like he's just like just a murdering, killing freak, and like fucks any woman that he sees, and like the stuff like that. It's just like it's just like more of just like, hey, like with all his problems that it has, it's like just like the central story just about him and his son. Even though it didn't totally resonate with me, like I had an appreciation for it, and like it had really good moments in it too. Like weirdly enough, like the only good moment I could really remember is just kind of like what you had, because this was kind of just the beginning. Because like like fighting the dragon and like even stuff at the end didn't really click with me as well. But like I enjoyed the experience of it. I guess it's more of just like the osmosis thing. Like a lot of people like it. And it kind of like got to me as well, just because like hearing them how they like it, but like I can't really tell you why I like it as much as everybody else. So it's as player it is right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Number 8.
My number 8 is Florence.
The Logan Wilkinson rope-a-dope has come full circle.
A game I've been hearing about like literally since like the beginning of this year. I think like since February. Has been Florence, and like it's something I bought. Yeah, it's something I bought like months ago too, but like because it's on my phone, obviously I'm not going to play it. And I just never got around to it. I think it was like I think it was listening to Giant Bomb's Game of the Year, and they were beginning to talk about Florence. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't beat this game. Let me just at least play it just to see how it is. And it lasts about like 45 minutes, which is great. So I went through the entire experience of that, and like yeah, I fucking love that game. I love that game to death. Just because of how like it's not necessarily brave or something like that, but like I just admire just like having like like almost like an everyday story that a lot of people just go through, and to end it that way where it's just like, well, like it's not like she got her boyfriend back at the end of that game or something like that. Like spoilers or whatever. Or it's not like they made up or anything like that. It's just like she went on with her life, and she took what good that she got from being together with him, and like applied it to something else to like have her move on with her life, and like it's something that like I could really appreciate and really enjoy.
Yeah.
And especially resonated with me because like I said, considering the stuff that happened at the beginning of this year with me, not necessarily with me, but like with my best friends, like it'd be like, I was like, God, I wish I had this game at the beginning of the year, because like I would have helped me out with a lot of stuff as far as like the stuff I went through. But like yeah, like even though like I went to the party with it, like it impacted me in a great way, and like I really like that game for that.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like I talked a little bit about it with you, but mostly the other IP folks, because it came up so much in our editorial deliberations. Yeah, it's certainly, it hit hard for me right now, for kind of different reasons of different kinds of relationships and how they end or get toxic. Yeah, it's a cool game. It didn't ultimately click with me, but I'm really glad it clicked with you. It definitely made me cry like a baby, though, I will say. Not that that's a feat by any means, but it is very lovely in how it goes about telling you its story. And it's a lovely little game. Number 7.
My number 7 is Detroit Become Human.
Hell yeah, dude. We stand Detroit. Actually, I don't know if I can say that with confidence.
Probably not. Like it's one of those. It's something that's like like it's been drugged through the mud so much, for good reason and some a little overblown. I feel, with pretty much quantity green games in general, and like the game with this game just like fell on the sword for that. Like pretty much all together. It's like because I feel like in his own way like. And it's kind of asking too much for people to ask people to do this, but like like inside his own box, inside the own game itself, like I think the game is very competent and it's very good for what it is and what it does. And it's like if I show this to my friend Katie and like she just plays the game without the bullshit surrounding it, she would greatly enjoy the game. And like because like it's not like this game's gonna make me think about stuff. Like I don't think the game really is, accomplishes that like fully. Like I think it's a good entertainment piece. And sure it does touch on certain issues and certain social issues where I don't think it does like the best job at it. But like at the same time too is like like I don't think it's so egregious that like the conversation couldn't be had or something like that.
Yeah, I think like, and I think you're probably with me on this. Like the Detroit succeeds in like the small stories it's telling versus the very big obvious writing on the wall story it's trying to tell.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot you can take away from those smaller stories, and I said it during like our kind of roundtable podcast about it. Of like Detroit, it feels like the least David Cage game that has come out. It feels like there are other people with other ideas and other feelings that come out in this game in a way that like a Heavy Rain or a Beyond Two Souls like didn't get that kind of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those stories and those vibes and those narratives are well represented here. And then there's Marcus, and then there's like the problem, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think it's funny because like we'll get to Detroit when we get to my list, but like every time you put Detroit on your list, I feel like you have to start off by defending yourself, and I think that sucks. That's kind of where that game's at.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's like if it's just like a normal person played it, like I think it's like a completely acceptable, like not really thinking too much about like this is so fucking deep or something like that game.
It's very benign, I think.
Yeah. Like I watched Game Grumps play it and like
yes, their reaction is their playthrough is phenomenal.
Yeah, and then like Danny, sorry, I got distracted for a second. Dan at the end, but it's like, oh man, I fucking love this game. This is great. Like, and he's like, I don't know why you get so much shit, David Cage. Like, because he doesn't know the reasons why he gets so much shit.
Exactly.
But like,
he's so pure. I love him.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a pure boy. Doesn't know anything around it. So like, but like, yeah, like I said, like. Just playing it inside the vacuum of it is without the bullshit around it. I think it's a very confident game, and I played it that way more or less. I knew the bullshit around it, but like it didn't really degrade the game that much for me.
Mm-hmm.
It did a little bit, like I said, but like I said, not that much. Where I didn't want to like put it against the game itself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's just my overall general feelings on that.
Also, it looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Best visuals, Detroit. Number 6.
My number 6 is Tetris Effect.
This is blasphemy.
Oh, I got bad news for you, Scott, when we get to my list.
Number 1.
Tell me about Tetris Effect.
But is it bad news?
No, it's not bad news. I was kidding.
It might be.
Tell me about Tetris Effect. Not much.
Like probably like the one of the most immersive, I guess you would say, games I played this year. It was just like it's just something where it's just after beating journey mode, like you just like play journey mode and just like play all in one setting without having like being cut off into sections. So like I've done it like maybe 3 or 4 times since the game came out, like where I just like like I have like 2 hours to spare or something like that, and like I just want to like just chill out after like working all day or whatever like that. So I just put on Tetris so I can just play that game from journey mode from beginning to end, just like just listen to the music, just getting my mind pieces in, doing my T spins, and just like just grooving out to the music and just having just a great time. Uh, like I've always loved Tetris, loved Tetris as the Game Boy, had a Game Boy with Tetris on it, and like just loved it for that. And like playing this game and just like and like really feeling it, like because it's really weird to say like you're feeling Tetris, like and not like in like just a Zen way, but like in all your senses type of way, where it just like hits every note for you, and just like you're seeing beauty, and you're just seeing like this art in front of you, while you're just laying down just like these fucking L pieces and shit like that, and is I just adore that game. That game is so good. In so many ways. Like I just really like it. It's probably my favorite Tetris that I played. I would probably definitely say that, yeah. But yeah, obviously, yeah, totally.
There's some bad versions of Tetris out there, so that's fair. This is not one of them.
Tetris Ultimate on PS4 is very good.
Yeah, there's like a Ubisoft Tetris game. Apparently
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, we talked about it a lot on the show, so I think people know where I stand on Tetris Effect. Number 5.
Number 5 for me is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Nice, dude.
Double blasphemy.
Scott betrayed left and right.
Switch these two right now.
Go on. No, tell me about Smash Brothers Ultimate. This is your list, option. Don't let Scott judge you.
I mean, like it's higher than what's on Scott's list, right?
Yeah,
because mine is 5. So yeah, mine's higher. Or mine's lower.
Yeah,
whatever. Smash Brothers Ultimate is fucking great for me who likes to play games by himself, and also when I want to play with people. So like I finally had my Smash night.
Yes,
people, which I haven't had. I haven't been able to because of my job and stuff like that.
Did you smash?
Where can I find the Smash night?
Did you pass?
Did you hit?
I don't know what the follow up to that is. So
miss, hit or miss.
Oh,
bro.
God, yeah.
But I was just playing with Katie and her boyfriend, and like we were just having fun. Just like cause like her boyfriend Joe just made like he went to like the rule set. Like he made just like a bunch of different rules for us to play. Like he wanted us to try like doing the I think it's the Big Blue stage where it's like where he's like the road and like he took off all the hazards, so like all the cars are gone, and like we all had our bunny hoods on, and we just like try to race,
yeah,
to see like who can make it. Because like if Sonic does it, he just like immediately just runs off the stage because like he's so fast. He's the best character in the game, so like he just runs straight off the stage. But like little Mac can just stay on the road long enough, and like other characters fall off. So which is like that was just funny stuff to do. And other different modes that he did, just because he's like found on Reddit or online or whatever that we played. And also like like that I think it's Smashdown or whatever, where it's just like we just like pick a character, you can't use that character anymore, and we just like have to keep picking different characters every time. That was also really fun for us. But like for me, like when I'm just playing by myself, like I really just enjoyed like that classic mode. The classic mode like really made that game for me. And obviously unlocking all the characters too. Like I just adore doing that. Just because like I just like doing stuff like that, like earning my shit, I guess you could say. And like but like like when I play classic mode with Ryu and like how was like pretty much everything was like mocked off of Street Fighter, like I said, oh yeah, this game is just like so good and so great. And obviously like just all the characters and all the love that's put into it, all the polish that was put into it. It's just like one of those things that you look at and like you just think to yourself like this shouldn't exist like in any way, shape, or form, but it does. And it's like it's a game that I'm just thankful for just like highlighting video games the way they are, and like it just shows like there's something that just can be fun and pure and great. And though we could get serious about it sometimes, about video games in general, like don't forget they could just be just pure fun too as well. So like I think the Smash Bros. Ultimate just personifies that like in a big way for me.
That's awesome. I like that.
That's why I like it.
Cool. Number 4.
So my number 4 and number 3 are like kind of just shared.
Okay.
Because like I pretty much rank them at the same level right now with me, but like mostly because both of them I didn't beat. But like I just enjoy them both like pretty much like at the same level. But, like that's like Dragon Quest 11 and Valkyria Chronicles 4. I would put like around the same level for 3 and 4. But they're both RPGs I played this year. Valkyria Chronicles obviously is one that like I've been waiting for a long time. And like I still really enjoy that. I love that. I love the characters. I love the gameplay. I love the gameplay is still the same from Valkyria Chronicles 1. And like just really loving that game, really feeling and just enjoy it every time I play it. I just haven't had enough time to play that as much as I would like to. But like Valkyria Chronicles 4 is like a stellar game. It was like if I feel like if I beat that game, like it would automatically be my game of the year. But like I just haven't really gotten to that point yet. So like I didn't really feel like I should put it to that level yet. Mm-hmm. And like Dragon Quest 11 is just like pretty much my biggest surprise of this year.
Yeah.
Of how much I love it and how much I got into it, and I'm still into it because like I'm still playing it. But like that cast of characters are just so good, and like just playing that game, and like I said, it feels so jolly just playing that game, and just like and because like there's nothing like really malicious about it. It's like at all.
Pickle guys. Those guys are hella malicious.
Well, like I mean, like sure, like well, the world's not really at risk or anything like that, but it's just a jolly romp. It's like it makes me feel so good just playing it. It makes me happy and like just playing that game because like even all the enemy designs are like nothing started like, really grotesque or anything like that. They're just like just fucking monsters, but they're cute, adorable looking monsters at the same time as well. Like you fight up, like you fight slimes and they're fine. Like everyone has Goku's face because like it's Akira Toriyama's art style, but like I don't know, man. Like I just really enjoy that game. Like, and like I said, like that's another game. Like I feel like if I had beaten that game, which I haven't beaten, like that probably would have been my game of the year. Like it's just this stuff I just really enjoy about that game, like a ton. Like I said, in that those cast of characters are so good too. Like Sylvando, and like that's met like my last team party members like the last time I played like a few days ago. So like I'm getting ready to know them. So like yeah, I'm just enjoying the fuck out of that game like so much.
That's awesome. Like your positivity on Dragon Quest 11 above anything else is what made me buy it and want to play it. So it's really cool. Like I love how much you got into that. And like Final Fantasy VII, right? Like weirdly, 2 games for you that are very connected, because you had to finish Final Fantasy VII before that game came out. But yeah, it's just I've always said Dragon Quest is kind of like my biggest hole in JRPG classics, right? Of franchises that I've just never touched. And while I've only played the first like hour and a half of Dragon Quest 11, it certainly has all those vibes and more.
Mm-hmm.
It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty game. Cool. I'm curious. I am curious. Obviously, I come from a unfortunately negative perspective on it, but I'm curious if your opinion on Valkyria Chronicles 4 changes as you get into the end of that game. But I don't know.
Sure. We'll see.
Number 2.
My number 2 is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ironically enough.
Like it was a game like when I beat that game, I felt like really good about it. Like, oh yeah, I beat the game. I really love it. It's really great. But like when I started thinking about it more and like yeah, I just thought about my journey, like the people I met, the things that I did in that game, and like just my overall thought about that game. It's just like, man, that's probably like one of the best stories like I've ever like went through in a video game. Like it's really good. It's really solid, and it's like it's really even touching in like a lot of ways. Like just like the way like everything went through. Like if anything this year that's been good, I would say it's just like this cast of characters. Because like that's just another thing that Red Dead has like so good. It's just like the whole gang, and like obviously the characters that you know before from Red Dead 1, for like not like a lot of just like John and Abigail and stuff like that, but like and just like your character Arthur, and just like the way where everything meant, like loyalty meant like so much to that man, like from the beginning to that game to like where it had to be to a point where like it kind of didn't matter to him, because like other stuff that came to a factor in his life like later on. But like it's like, God, man, this is like that game just sticks with me, and like I still stand by, like I may never play that game again, but like it's one of those games where like it'll stick with me for like probably forever. Like kind of like it's kind of how like I feel about The Last of Us, where it's like The Last of Us I very much didn't enjoy playing, just because I didn't like enjoy playing like I guess the humans part. Like I love playing like the clicker part and stuff like that. Like that part was fun. I love going through that journey with that, and obviously I love Left Behind. But like I don't know, man. It's just like it's just something that's like it's a game that like really sticks with me. Especially how like obviously like how the last mission for the game, and then like the epilogue afterwards, like all that stuff, man. It's like I just loved it to death, and like I have no one to talk to about it. So
I know. I mean, you can. I would say reach out to Logan about it. Obviously, he's not as positive about it as you are, but I think he has a lot of positive takeaways. Reach out to Brad Shoemaker. I hear he has a lot of positive feelings about that game.
Katie played that game, like and she beat it. Like she's in the middle of the epilogue now. I'm waiting for her to get to a certain part of the epilogue, which is like really good character stuff. Like because like the thing is about it, the thing that was really about it, like especially in the epilogue part, is like I knew I cared about these characters, but like I didn't know I cared that much about them until like till certain stuff happens, and just like, God damn, like I fucking care, and I care more than I ever thought I did. So like it was like one of those like good realizations that like really got to me.
I will never, not that I'm not super upset about this one. I will never live in a world where I play a Red Dead game where it hasn't been spoiled for me. But which is kind of a bummer. But like I said, I had the opportunity to play this game, and I kind of decided to walk away from it. But everything I've heard about what they do with Arthur as a character and kind of like where that story goes sounds really cool and sounds really powerful in a lot of ways too. Mm-hmm. All right, Nabshin, number 1, Monster Hunter World. I know. No, I'm just
my number 1. You know what, Monster Hunter World? I really want to play that game still. I have that game.
It's a good game, dude.
It's a good game.
I do. I know. I get it, but like I don't know. Like I don't know if I need the guidance but like I would rather learn it myself. I just need to.
If you texted Tony at 2:00 in the morning, any night, any year, any day, said I need your help, Monster Hunter, he'd be there.
But I don't want to give him that satisfaction now.
That's totally fair.
My number 1 game of the year is Dragon Ball FighterZ. A game that's stuck with me since it came out. A game that's stuck with me even before it came out. And like a game that I put so much time into. And a game that I just really oh my God, dude, like I did every combo challenge in that game, which is like that was just a thing that like I couldn't believe that I did it.
Yeah.
And I did it multiple times too, because like the DLC characters as well, but like to do combo challenges in a fighting game, like which is something I've always tried to do, but like I can only get so far, and like I can never really like get past a certain point. And it's like, oh well, I'll try a couple of times and then I'll give up. But like I actually like did it with every single character in that game, and like I just almost that alone just makes it like like something impactful for me was like, but like there's also stuff like how that game just fucking gets me. Like in every conceivable way. It automatically defaults to Japanese. They call Hercule Mr. Satan. It's just like, oh, you fucking get it. You actually get it. You know what I want. You know what I need, and like it's just all here. The story mode's like kind of okay, not really that great, but like I love because like the best part about the story mode is like this the certain is because it's a certain situations you can get into, and like when you pick your character to like to fight the clones that you have to fight and stuff like that, and like you get these interactions that you never got before. You just hear the dialogues that they have. Like you'll see like if you go to a fight and you have like Gotenks and like Goku and Vegeta in your party. Like they'll have a little cutscene just saying like, like who, like Gotenks be like, who, like how should I address you? Like, because you're my dad, but only on Trunks' side, and you're my dad, but only on Goten's side. So like, should I call you both dad, or should I call you Mr. Vegeta, or call you Mr. Goku, or stuff like that? And like Goku's just like not knowing really how to answer that question, and Vegeta's like, shut the fuck up, let's get into this fight. It's like this stupid interactions like that. Like I can't wait to unlock Nappa and like.
Quick aside.
Yes.
The answer is dad.
Yeah. It's dad.
Like I can't wait to unlock Nappa and just like have like the interaction between him and like Yamcha, because like like Nappa had the Cyberman kill him, so like I just wonder like I'm just curious like how that interaction will go.
How did that go down?
Yeah, the stuff like that. And me as a fan of Dragon Ball for like forever, and like just having like the game that's like the quintessential of Dragon Ball, and like not just visually, but like gameplay wise and like all this other stuff too. Like it looks like the show, obviously, and like every time you do like your super in that game, it's just like you feel like it's like a desperate struggle. It's like they're like screaming at the top of their lungs and like just like putting all their energy into it type of thing. It's like it feels so good to play, and it's like that's just my game of the year, dude. Like it's everything that I wanted out of Dragon Ball game. I love it.
Yeah.
Just give me Caulifla and like I'll be happy. Like and I'll just die.
Yeah, it is. Boy, that is a hell of a game to watch.
Who's your main?
Do you have a main? What's your team?
My team is like it's Vegeta, it's Team Gohan, and it's Android 18.
Yo, where's Goku Black, dude? I heard he's the best.
Is it Super Saiyan Vegeta?
It's Super Saiyan Vegeta.
Okay.
Yes, not
regular Vegeta.
Yes.
Shout out to regular Vegeta. There need to be more. Technically, there's only 3 Vegetas in that game, and I just don't think that's enough.
You can have a whole team of Vegetas.
You can kind of say 4 because of Vegeta.
Vegeta was what I was counting in that 3, so I don't know.
Oh, there's Vegeta Blue, and then there's
Vegeta
OG
Blue.
Vegeta.
I forgot about Vegeta Blue.
All right, who the fuck is Vegeta Blue?
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. If you want me to
Yes.
get technical with you,
Yes.
are you excited?
Why is it shortened to Vegeta Blue?
Because he's got blue hair, man.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be some convoluted story like
I
Goku
think
Black.
it's a little silly.
No,
as
Goku
well,
Black is the
like,
best
it
story,
should
though.
just be. I think it should kind of just be one character with the Super Saiyan forms.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I was gonna say something.
I mean, we have like 3 links in.
Yeah, we got 3 links in Smash.
I think that is just as silly.
Yeah, it is equally as silly. There's like 2 Marios for no reason. There's no reason Dr. Mario is still around.
There's no
Bring
reason.
down Boo.
Yeah,
Come on.
It should be a skin for Peach.
Yeah, but no, they committed. So here we are. Yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ is awesome, and it's a hell of a game to watch. I watched Evo for the first time this year because that game is just so much fun to watch. Obviously, you and I got very into the Sonic Fox tale, the narrative, and it's cool that he got to be the king of that game. A cool dude, cool game, good vibes. What is your most anticipated game of 2019, Albertson?
Bless Online.
Fuck yeah, dude. Finally some good news.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. It's going to be a good week. Or let me say it this way, an option. It better be a good week. Yeah, very exciting. Cool, man. It's a good list. I saw it on Instagram. It was spoiled for me on Instagram.
Oh, you know me, dude. Like I'm always willing to share my love.
I know. I'm curious if
what was spoiled for you?
Nabashin's top 10 games, but he's not as secretive about it as I am. I'm curious if my list is going to surprise. And I mean, Tony doesn't care about me or my list, but if it's going to surprise you, Nabashin, I know it'll surprise Scott. 6 honorable mentions, very quickly. God of War, honorable mention.
I expected that.
I honestly, at this point, I'm just sick of talking about God of War. The further I get away from that game, the less I like it, and that sucks. Because I did enjoy parts of it when I played it the first time, and there are still parts of that game that I think are great, and I'm optimistic about future God of War games in that lineage. But boy, am I over it. Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. I think kind of the nature of how traditional open world game that is just hurt it for me. But it's, you hear it a lot, but man, the swinging in that game is just so good. And it's very fun. It's very jolly. I think it tells a very good Spider-Man story that I liked quite a bit.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing that I don't play many.
Yes, I don't think
I'll have virtually no wear and tear on those.
Yeah, you'll go into it and be like, "This is cool, Scott." Monster Hunter World. I think in a lot of ways, Monster Hunter World is like honorary number 11. I really liked my time with that game. It took a while for it to click with me. I think because I had that kind of big fight with the Rathalos that really broke me, and then I kind of came back and recovered from it. And I had like my Monster Hunter World moments, but it kind of clicked with me a little late, and I didn't end up sticking with it through the post-game stuff, which seems like some of the most interesting stuff in that game. But I still really liked my time with it, and I think it's a hell of a game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a very complicated game for me. I think there are as many things I like as I dislike. And I think Cassandra deserved a better game. But I think it's still cool. I think it's another one of those things of, if you like open world action games, you've no excuse not to play this, but boy, it's just, it was a lot of mechanical disappointments coming off of Origins, which I thought was really cool. These next two, at the end of it, I kind of really liked what my list was and the 10 games that were on it, so I didn't know where to put either of them, so they just didn't end up making it. The first is Greece. Greece is beautiful and phenomenal, and if I had played it like 2 weeks earlier, it would have easily been on my list. I adore this game. I think everyone should give it a shot, and it had me feeling some kind of way. And the other is Into the Breach, which I also really, really, really like. And I put a good amount of time in. I think if I had sank more time into it, it probably would have crept up. Got that list creep. But I really like that game. And yeah, Scott has described that game better than I ever could. But it is a phenomenal little roguelike.
Yeah, I'll do it later.
Yeah, we'll loop around to it. Number 10. Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. My first Yakuza game, coming in strong at the end. To its credit, right, Yakuza 6 did a great job of like introducing me to Kiryu and kind of like the core characters to his life. Not a lot of Majima in this game, which bummed me out, but I don't even know really anything about Majima, so I don't know why I was bummed out about that per se. He just seems like a cool guy. What's cool about Yakuza 6 is most of the story takes place in a small kind of fishing village south of Kamurocho, which most of those games take place in, and it's about this kind of ragtag gang of younger guys in a small Yakuza clan that think they're hot shit, and they are absolutely not. And it's like Kiryu coming in as like more of a mentor figure for these four young fellas, and kind of how he becomes a part of their life, how they all refer to him as like a brother, how they all look up to him because he's the coolest guy in the world, and how like he becomes such a mentor figure for them, and the relationships that kind of spawn within that group are really great. It is just, it was my first Yakuza game. I knew kind of from the get-go that I was going to like Yakuza. Getting into it just made me so happy. Like, that game is just so great. And I had such a great time with it. It is my favorite father-child story of the year, for sure. I think it is equally as ridiculous as it is earnest and genuine, and that makes all the difference. And I really love that. I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, you should probably play Kiwami or Zero first, but I think Yakuza 6 is still great. Number 9 is what I meant. My number 9 is Moonlighter. I feel like nobody is talking about Moonlighter. I feel like no one at any point ever talked about Moonlighter, and it really bums me out.
You ever mentioning this game?
I did. It came out a very long time. It came out like May, April. I only talked about it on maybe a couple episodes of the podcast because I kind of ravenously consumed all of it and finished it. It is a game where you play as it's set in this town that is connected to these 4 dungeons, these 4 caverns that lead to these 4 dungeons that are full of horrible monsters but great treasure. The town used to be bustling because adventurers from all over the world would come to the town to explore the dungeons and get great loot. But so many people kept dying that they shut down the dungeons, and the town kind of fell from grace, and people just forgot about it. So you play as this young person who inherits a shopkeeper in the town called the Moonlighter. His name is Will, and he, during the day, sells things in the shop, and through the night, moonlights as an adventurer and sneaks into the dungeons. And as you sneak into the dungeons and sell more things and explore the dungeons and beat the bosses, and you unlock more dungeons, and they grow and expand. And the town grows and expands with that. It is just really cool. In a way, it is like that top-down Zelda-like, Binding of Isaac-like. Roguelike is one half of it, but it's also like a really, really good shopkeeping sim. Like, you have to place all of the items in the shop on the podiums to be sold, and you have to set the price for each value. And if you sell it too high, customers will be bummed out about it. And if you sell it too low, customers will be really stoked about it. And you have to kind of fluctuate the price of the items that you sell, experiment, trial and error, and that part like spoke to me on a whole other level outside of the dungeons. Like, it was very like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley-esque part of it, mixed with this awesome, really fun dungeon crawler. It just combines these 2 totally diametrically opposed concepts, but complements them together so well. And it does it just brilliantly. I think it's so charming. I think it's so fun. I'm probably going to buy it again and play through it all over again on Switch, just because it is such a good loop of a game. If you've not heard of Moonlighter, it's great. Highly recommend it. It came out in November on Switch. It's no better time to hop in. My number 8 is Celeste. A nice early January game. I love Celeste. I think it's great. It is made by the same folks that made Towerfall. It plays just as well and just as tightly as Towerfall. But on top of that, it has a really great heartfelt story about kind of confronting yourself and the shortcomings that kind of come along with that. It's a lot about anxiety. It's about mental illness. It's about, things that I care about, things that I like seeing in games, especially in something like this where it's represented so well and so differently. I think, like, I've talked about it before. I think the first half of the game is a lot weaker than the second half of the game, level design wise. But the best part is even after you finish the story and gotten this really great experience, there are the B-sides and C-side levels with remix music and remix levels, and like they're way harder and way more Meat Boy-esque. That ended up being some of my favorite levels in that game, and had me like tensely gripping my Switch. That game has the best of both worlds. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's got great music. I've been listening to the soundtrack all year, and I think it's awesome. I think if you haven't checked it out, Navashin, this one especially, you should play.
I haven't. I just haven't really clicked with me.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, those first levels, I think, they just did not jive with me. I'm glad I stuck with it through the end, though. My number 7 is Detroit Become Human. I think, was it number 7 on your list too, Navashin?
Yes.
It was either number 7 or number 6. Similar thing. Like, I kind of already said it when we talked about your games. 7. And there you go. It's a perfect spot for Detroit.
Hold on.
Yep.
Is Connor your boy?
Connor's my boy.
That's all I know about that game.
Brian Deckert out there. Beautiful man. Definitely have a man crush on him. Or Brian DeChart, depending on if you ask Aaron Hansen. Marcus is a problem, I think. Like, there is like things in that game that, depending on how you play it, can be at best like culturally appropriative of really important movements in human history, and at worst like horribly offensive. And that's not to mention like the kind of troubling stories you hear about the development of that game, and about David Cage himself. But like I said, in spite of all that, like I think people, the greater and larger and wider team of Quantic Dream comes out in this game in a way that they haven't before, and it shines through, and it tells these two smaller stories of becoming who you are and taking care of what matters, in a really, really well done way. And that's not to mention like how much of a love letter to this kind of game this game is right. Like the scene where you chase the deviant through like on top of a train and stuff is like one of the most awesome scenes in video games for me this year. The music in this game is awesome. The way it uses QuickTime events and stuff is awesome. It is the best one of these kinds of games, I think, of like narrative QuickTime event driven stories where you switch characters. Very specific, but there are surprisingly a lot of them. And I just think it's excellent. I think the way the narrative stuff branches out and it gets into like how this game can end, all the different ways this game can go, is like honestly like incredible. It's an achievement. The fact that like there are basically different scenes, different versions of levels at the end that you just will never see depending on how you play that game is really, really cool to me. I think Detroit is awesome. I think there's a lot to take away that game that is very positive and very.
All right. One last interjection.
Yeah.
So I lied. There's 2 things I know about the game.
Yeah.
One, it's about androids.
Yes.
2 is that Connor's your boy.
Yes.
And now with what you said, is the problem with Marcus and the fact that this is an Android game?
Yes.
That they kind of just insert the, what would we call it?
Like civil rights type thing?
Yes, there we go.
Yes. I like
do they just ham fist that in there?
Marcus's whole story is androids are people too. And it
so does Marcus actually have a personality?
Not really. Like, of the characters, I think he does. Like, there are.
So does he start with one, and then the more you go towards it, the less of a personality he has?
Exactly that. Yes. And it's a bummer, but it's also
is that like the whole problem with the game?
It's the whole problem with that story.
Can you kill him and make it go away?
No. Yeah. He's like he's like the main character, but he's not the main character, right? Like, which is a really weird, funny thing. Like, Connor's the main character of that game, but like, again, it's like dueling developer mentalities. Like, David Cage thinks Marcus is the main character of that game. Everyone else thinks he isn't.
Okay.
That's kind of my takeaway.
Is it basically he was supposed to be, but then Connor was just done 10 times better?
Yes, kind of. I think the focus also switches kind of somewhere in the middle of that game too, from Marcus to Connor. But yeah, I like Detroit a lot, regardless.
And then everybody just picks Connor.
And everybody picks Connor. It's like Marcus always gets picked last for the dodgeball team. Number 6 is Destiny 2 Forsaken. Man, this is peak Destiny for me. It's been I put more time into this than I did into Destiny 2 Vanilla across 2 platforms. And that's saying something. Like, Tony knows I played a lot of Destiny 2 Vanilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was fun playing with a different group of people. Oh, whoops. It was fun.
What are you trying to say?
Absolutely nothing. I miss playing Destiny with you, Tony. Honest to God. It was fun seeing how Bungie tried to one up themselves from the Taken King to this. I think the Dreaming City is like one of the coolest area and kind of like post-game narratives I've ever seen in a video game, and the way that stuff was kind of incorporated into like the weekly reset, and the way characters kind of realized the situation, the loop that they were stuck in, and the way it got weird exactly how it should have, and the way they kind of expanded on that and expunged the story beats from it. Super cool. I also just really love Destiny. Like, I love to play Destiny. To some extent, I liked the grind of kind of getting into the raid. I liked the story that our raid group had of like trying again and again 3 weeks in a row and slowly kind of chipping away and getting better until we finally beat the raid. And it's all the stuff that is like worked in Destiny for me before, but it worked the best in this expansion I think it ever has for me to some extent. I certainly missed the people that I didn't get to play with. But it's just like it was such a well-crafted expansion. And I put so much time and effort into it, and I had such a good time with it. That yeah, I love Destiny 2. They got me on the hook. Whatever happens again, I'll show up as long as I have time, right? And I will typically always make time for Destiny 2. And it's fun to be in that place with that game. My number 5 is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I talked about on the show of how like I went from kind of like so the first time I saw this game of like cool, no thanks, to like then buying it and then liking it more than most mainline Pokemon games. Like they took out pretty much everything in Pokemon that I don't like, or I'm not attached to, like I don't care for. Making everything faster, making everything move faster, making catching Pokemon fun for me.
That's right, you never did that.
Yeah, again, like the biggest.
Yeah, no, they came up a couple days ago. They honestly took out things that they made irrelevant things that should technically have never been in the game in the first place.
Yeah, but like more so, like I've never played a Pokemon game where like I want to catch them all. This was the first time I played a Pokemon game where I wanted to catch them all. Not that I did. I think I got like 106 by the end of it. I finished it last week for point of reference. But yeah, I would see a Pokemon on the field that I had not caught yet, and I'd be like, oh fuck, Scyther. I want to catch that. And I've never felt that ever in my life before. Of like, I gotta catch this one and this one and this one. I would typically, catch my 8 and stick with them. And yeah, just like the whole system of like catching multiple Pokemon, leveling up and buffing your Pokemon with the candy. The way like the gym leaders, the Elite Four, everything worked in this game. I just really loved. I really, really, really adored Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And it really revitalized my love for that franchise and makes me want to play more Pokemon in the future, which is great. Obviously, I would say I probably would prefer to play a Pokemon game like this minus the motion controls, because those did not work for me really at all. But I would still like fall over myself with joy for like a Pokemon Let's Go Silver or Let's Go Gold, something like that. My number 4 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I respect Scott's opinions. I'll say this at the top, though I do completely disagree with him on this game. I love Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I think you're also taking my opinions from the wrong angle.
And we don't have to harp on this.
As far as opinions goes, I think we're in line.
Yeah,
as far as the state of the game, that's just factual.
Well, according to you.
No.
But like, I think this is the best play in Smash Brothers. I think this is the most fun I've ever had with Smash Brothers. I think this is it is so much more than just Smash 4 with some extra polish on it. Nothing pointed out to me more how disappointing Smash 4 was than playing this. Like thinking of everything that was added to Brawl and how full a package that was and how lacking Wii U and 3DS was compared to like Ultimate, which feels like another full entry in the series. Really stood out to me. Like I had because I've loved Smash Brothers for so long, and I had this feeling after I played Smash for Wii U of like, maybe Smash Brothers is just not like a top 10 game for me. And like, like maybe it's just like because it is like a multiplayer game and it's not necessarily my bag in that regard. But like that's just absolutely not been the case here. Like I put 28 hours into the World of Light, which I loved. Much like you, Nabshin, I prefer, or I don't necessarily prefer, but I play Smash Brothers alone, whether by choice or by trade, I don't know. And then I put 10 more hours into a bunch of different classic modes, sometimes just replaying them because I thought they were so cool and well done, and 20 more hours into getting into battle arenas, staying up till 3 a.m., playing with people on Discord. I've never felt as competitive in this game as I have like in other Smash Brothers games. I've never felt that like the mechanics like really just the feel of the game speaks to me in a way that it just never has with Smash Brothers before. And it reminds me a lot of Melee and how I would delete my GameCube save of Melee just so I could go back and unlock all the characters again or play all the event matches again. Like it brought me back to a long forgotten time of Smash Brothers that I had forgotten. Of like, I loved doing that, and that's why I was so excited for Brawl. But I've been so far from that I've forgotten that was like such a huge part of Melee for me. And because this game plays so close to Melee in how fast it is and how responsive it is and how tight it feels, it has brought all of those feelings back to me. And yeah, like just playing with Mike and Scott White and the just randos that we've gotten on Discord to come in and hang out and play. Obviously, like Podcast Ultimate was a big part of like, there's a lot of expectations for me for this game, but it's still like somehow managed to surprise me with like how into it I got and how satisfying it was. Just like putting time into this game was a reward in of itself, and I just haven't felt that way about this franchise since Melee. Even Brawl like didn't necessarily click all the way for me in that regard. And yeah, I love this game so much. And I expect to be playing it for months to come. And the only way they could have sealed that deal any harder was by announcing a Persona 5 character for it. So here we are. My number 3 is The Messenger, which is a fantastic first game from Sabotage. Full disclosure, PR for this game done by a friend of ours, friend of the show, Janvier Saint-Ange. But I'd like to think that if I came to The Messenger in a vacuum, knowing nothing about it, sat down, played it front to back, it would have been maybe one of my favorite games of all time. The only thing that hurt it is that I knew so much about it going into it. But even still, I think the charm, the style, and the great feel of The Messenger would put it as high as it is on my list. It's so fun. The cloud step mechanic of like anytime you hit something in the air with your sword, you can jump again is just the most brilliant mechanic I think I've ever played in a like 2D action platformer like this. It works so well, and the way things kind of expand out and become bigger and grander and more amazing as that game goes on, not just in its like art style change and music style change. It like hits all the notes for me. Thierry, the director of the game, when I got to interview him at PAX East this last year, he put it better than I ever could of like when he was describing this game to me and taking me through like the whole pitch. It was like his inner child was talking directly to my inner child, and we were on the same fucking page. And yeah, The Messenger is stylish and gorgeous and fun, and the music is great, and the gameplay is ecstatic and phenomenal. And yeah, it's a phenomenal game, and I can't recommend it enough. I had so much fun with it. We're in it. This is the end. This is the thick of it. Number 2, Hollow Knight. Just like you said, Amshin, it's a very engrossing game. The world of Hollow Knight, I think, is phenomenal, but the mechanics of Hollow Knight, I think, are like incredible. I think it's probably my favorite Metroidvania. I might like it more than Super Metroid, which is crazy for me. I think they out Metroid in a lot of ways. The big thing, and I wrote it in my write-up that you can read on irrationalpassion.com, hopefully by the time you hear this, about it, is that like 27 hours into that game, I discovered a whole new like zone, a whole new area that I had just never seen before. And I was like, what? I was just blew my mind of like, when is this game going to end? And I hope it's never. And it was also like, that's just like, I remember that distinctly as a moment where I had to pause it and back out and see how much time I had put into the game to figure out like how because it felt like an eternity, but like not in a bad way, of just like, yeah, I've put so much time into this and I'm still seeing just completely new areas and new things. And that was not the last completely new area I ended up seeing in that game. It was just a gift that kept on giving, of like, my favorite thing about Metroidvanias is exploring, finding areas where you might not have the power to get around, and then getting that power and going back. And there's just so much to go back and find in this game. And I ended up like 107% in, like getting everything, getting all the collectibles, fighting all the bosses, seeing all the stuff that they added with the expansions and whatnot. It's just, it's so good. I think like on top of that, in some ways Dark Souls is Dark Souls, right? It takes that same format, but does it in a very different way because of the kind of game it is. Of kind of like vague NPC dialogue and weird item descriptions and things like that, and incorporating that into this 2D world that is aesthetically unlike anything I've ever seen before, in anything, like weird bug people that are somehow like kind of cute and lovable and horrifying when they need to be, right? Like it's just like it is unlike anything I've ever played, but also like this amalgamation of all these different things that I like. And yeah, I think it's just tip to top, very good. Top to bottom. One of the best games I've ever played. I wish I had played it last year, but I also am glad that I didn't because I already had a lot of games that I really liked on last year. So it would have easily been number 3 for me last year, which is saying something because Hellblade is also a very, very good video game. My number 1, I guess I didn't know I was coming into like an anti-Tetris Effect environment, but here we are.
Whoever said anti-Tetris Effect?
I don't know, man. It's just that's the vibe. You guys give off a very anti-Tetris Effect vibe.
You see that just proves that you did not understand what went down. Remember how I asked Navashin to switch Tetris Effect in Smash Bros. Because I said blasphemy? I was telling him that it should have been higher on his list.
Okay, fair enough. Tetris Effect is my personal game of the year. It's weird. Even like thinking about how I would want to talk about this game, like I get emotional. Like this game is so tied to a feeling for me. Kind of like you said it like that too, Nabashin. It's a very reductive way to put it, but for me it's kind of apt. Tetris Effect is kind of like a concept album, right? It is very much like this story told through song and music and visuals, but also told through Tetris, right? Like, and I love Tetris so much. Like, it is like probably my favorite puzzle game as far as like just very, surface level. This is what a puzzle game is. Puzzle games. I've put thousands of hours into different versions of Tetris across the years. So this version coming about and kind of like essentially doing what I love mechanically and then doing what I love narratively and tying that all together through song and music. I had my come to Jesus Tetsuya Mizuguchi moment with this game, where my only other point of reference is Meteos, which is a different thing. I like Tetris Effect. Like I had such a visceral emotional reaction when I kind of like sat down in VR and played it front to back and just broke down afterwards, like legitimately uncontrollably sobbing, like falling apart, like as like all of these feelings kind of washed over me. And then playing it again after that and kind of with that knowledge, seeing something very different from that game, seeing something even more beautiful, even more emotional for me. Like it's a moment for me. It's a special thing. I don't know. Tetris Effect does the thing that I love about video games because it tricks you into falling into this false sense of security. And then with its mechanics and its presentation just hits you right in the gut. And I think that's something that only interactive mediums can do. And there are not a lot of them. But video games is the one that I've chosen to kind of stick my pin in. And Tetris Effect is like an exemplary example of that. I think it's masterful in how it tells its story. And it makes me want to play Lumines and Rez and anything Mizuguchi has ever touched before. But I don't think they will resonate with me quite as much as this one did because this was my one of those. And the biggest thing about Tetris Effect 2 is like I think the experience I had with it is very much indicative of like the year that I've had and the difficult year that I've had and the personal challenges I've faced just in general in my life. And it speaks to me, and the story that I had with it speaks to me. And I don't think, and I wouldn't begrudge anyone for kind of walking away with different feelings and different thoughts on it. I think that makes sense, and I think that's totally fine. Tetris Effect just found me in the right moment. That's my list. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the answer to the unasked question. Of course.
Wow, unanimous.
The only game that Irrational Passions is unanimously excited about. What'd you think of my list, Nabishin?
It's pretty much what I saw coming.
Damn.
Honestly.
I think Tetris Effect could have been higher.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. I should have pushed it up.
Also, Cuphead should be higher.
God fucking damn it. That's
Fuck Cuphead.
Fuck Cuphead. No, not really. It's a great game. That's, I think, gonna wrap it for our day one here. Next time we are gonna actually deliberate on stuff and pick things and yell at each other. No, probably not gonna yell at each other.
Not this year.
No, not this year.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe like a little bit, but
We'll make sure it's over the dumbest of shit.
absolutely. It's best title. We'll be like, no, fuck you. So thank you all for your patience with me and with us for this stuff. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully, with more Game of the Year type stuff, more reflecting on 2018, and more bullshit. So thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin. I'm your host, Alex. We'll talk to you tomorrow with more bullshit.
Brett's done.
Stop. Hey, you can stop recording now.